So if you just went out and spent like $1,200 on a brand new flagship phone this year.
Oh, you might want to look away for this one.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Because there is a very real chance you might have just been scammed by a $400 piece of glass.
Which is a bold claim, I know.
It is. But think about it. You walk into an electronics store, right? And you have this built-in assumption in your head.
We all do.
Exactly. The assumption that the more you pay, the better the device is.
Yeah.
That's just how money works. But then you wander over to the mid-range section.
And you just hit this massive wall of identical glowing rectangles.
Yes. It's completely wild. They all look exactly the same. But the pricing just seems to defy all logic.
It's totally paralyzing for the average consumer. I mean, the mid-range smartphone market right now is arguably the most fiercely competitive space in all of consumer tech.
Oh, without a doubt.
And because it's so competitive, it's also the most confusing. It's this landscape built almost entirely on clever illusions and hidden compromises.
Manufacturers are basically desperate, right?
Yeah, they are desperate to make a $400 device look and feel exactly like a $1,000 flagship.
And that specific illusion is exactly what we are tearing apart in today's Deep Dive.
Got a lot to get through.
We do. We've got our hands on this wildly detailed review from the YouTube tech channel MobiTech. And they are focusing specifically on the brand new Honor 600 Lite 5G.
Right.
So our mission for you, listening to this right now, is to really peel back that dense marketing jargon.
Because there is a lot of jargon.
Tons of it. We are going to figure out if this specific device is actually, a hidden gem that completely changes the math on buying phones.
Or if it's just a really shiny parlor trick.
Exactly. And by the time we finish this deep dive, you will know exactly how to decode all these smartphone compromises so you can make the right choices for your own daily life.
And the MobiTech reviewer actually sets this up with a really provocative stage right at the beginning of their video.
What do they say?
Well, they basically make the claim that if you believe all phones in this specific mid-range price bracket are just, identical plastic clones of each other.
Which, most of them are.
Right. But they say the Honor 600 Lite is designed to violently shatter that assumption.
Okay, that is a strong statement.
Yeah.
So let's test it. Let's start with the physical shell of the device.
The exterior.
Yeah, because this is where the Honor 600 Lite really pulls off its first major illusion. The reviewer takes it out of the box, and instead of that usual glossy polycarbonate plastic
The kind that feels super hollow.
Exactly. The hollow plastic that immediately gets just coated in gross fingerprint grease. Instead of that, this phone uses a premium metal frame and a matte glass back.
Which fundamentally alters the whole tactile experience of holding the device.
It really does. It's like showing up to a super casual party in a custom-tailored suit. It just feels different.
Well, and normally the absolute first thing a manufacturer downgrades to hit a mid-range price point is the structural material.
Because it's cheaper.
Way cheaper. Stamping aluminum and chemical etching glass is significantly more expensive than just injecting hot plastic into a mold.
And that matte glass, back on the Honor, it is doing some really heavy lifting here.
How so?
Well, from an engineering standpoint, they use this chemical microetching process on the glass itself.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so it creates these microscopic peaks and valleys on the surface.
Yeah.
And that diffuses light. But it also physically prevents the oils from your fingers from sticking to it in a visible way.
So it actually stays clean.
It keeps the phone looking totally pristine, even without a case. And the physical dimensions they list in the review are equally crazy.
It's pretty thin, isn't it?
It is aggressively slim, just 7.3 millimeters thick.
Wow.
And it weighs a remarkably light 180 grams. Oh, and they even included a customizable physical button on the frame.
Wait, like an action button?
Yeah. You can map it to instantly launch the camera or the flashlight or the specific app you use all the time.
Okay, but an elegant design is completely meaningless if the thing is fragile.
That is very true.
And what's highly unusual for a device this thin is that they actually built it to survive kinetic impact.
Yeah, the durability is wild.
The review documents that the chassis can withstand drops from 1.5 meters directly onto hard surfaces.
So basically dropping it from your ear while making a call.
Exactly. And it carries an official IP66 certification.
Okay, let me see if I have the mechanics of that IP rating correct, because it can be confusing.
Go for it.
The first 6 foot in IP66 means the device is completely dust tight.
Right.
So they're using physical barriers like those tiny rubber gaskets around the charging port and the SIM tray, so no microscopic sand or dirt can get inside and ruin the motherboard.
That's exactly right.
And the second 6 foot means it can handle high-pressure water jets.
Which is impressive.
So the speaker grills probably have this hydrophobic mesh that physically repels liquid, meaning you could spill boiling coffee on it or get caught in a literal monsoon and the phone survives.
Yeah, brushes it off.
But, and this is key, the pressure of being fully submerged in the deep end of a swimming pool would still push water past those rubber seals.
Yes, that is the exact threshold you have to remember. It is engineered for the chaos of daily accidents, not for, underwater photography on your vacation.
Right.
But still, it represents a really significant leap in durability for a phone at this price tier.
Absolutely. But, the durability of the frame is really only half the story of the exterior. We have to talk about this screen.
The display is quite something.
The reviewer was practically glowing when describing it. It's a 6.6-inch AMOLED panel, boasting a 1.5K resolution and 120 Hz refresh rate.
Super smooth.
So smooth. And they went so far as to claim that the color saturation rivals, and maybe even surpasses, the current displays Samsung is putting out.
Wow. I mean, considering Samsung essentially invented the modern mobile display market.
And they're still the gold standard.
Right. So for Mobitech to say that, it is an incredibly weighty endorsement. The color accuracy mostly stems from the AMOLED technology itself, where each individual pixel emits its own light, which allows for infinite contrast.
But then the reviewer dropped a metric that, honestly, to me, sounded like pure fiction.
The brightness.
Yes. They claimed the peak brightness hits 6,500 nits.
It is a massive number.
It's insane. A standard high-quality phone display usually will maxes out around maybe 2,000 nits. So my initial reaction was that 6,500 nits is just unnecessary marketing overkill. I mean, nobody needs a phone that doubles as a searchlight.
It does sound absurd when you just read it on a spec sheet.
Totally.
However, if we actually examine the physics of how we use these screens in the real world, the necessity becomes pretty clear.
Okay, explain that.
So, that peak brightness, it is never triggered when you are just sitting in your living room on the couch.
Right, that would blind you.
Exactly. It's a targeted override specifically for when you are standing outside under the absolute harshest, direct midday sun.
Oh, when your screen usually just turns into a mirror.
Yes. Ambient sunlight completely overwhelms the light emitted by a standard phone screen. But by pushing those OLED pixels to 6,500 nits for just a brief window, the screen physically cuts through the solar glare.
So you can actually read a text message without having to awkwardly shade the glass with your hand.
Precisely. It's incredibly practical.
And the innovation on this screen doesn't even stop with maximum brightness. It's also doing something super fascinating at minimum brightness.
The dimming tech.
Yeah, the review highlights this technology called 37840 Hz PWM dimming. And this is specifically designed for eye protection.
It's a really big deal for eye health.
From what I gather, when you turn the brightness down at night, the screen doesn't actually get dimmer by lowering the power to the pixels.
No, it doesn't.
Instead, it uses pulse width modulation, meaning the screen just rapidly flashes on and off, and the longer the pixels stay off during each flash, the dimmer the screen appears to your brain.
You have the mechanism perfectly. It is essentially an optical illusion being played on your visual cortex.
But wait, that means when I'm doom scrolling in the pitch black before bed, my phone is basically strobing light directly into my retinas.
It is. And that invisible strobe effect is a massive, undocumented cause of digital eye strain, chronic dryness, and severe headaches.
Because my eyes are trying to adjust to it.
Exactly. The human eye cannot consciously perceive the flicker. It looks like a solid image to us, but your iris is still micro-adjusting to every single flash.
That sounds exhausting for the eye muscles.
It is. So by pushing that pulse rate to an astronomical 3,840 times a second, Honor is accelerating the flicker far beyond the biological threshold where your eye muscles even attempt to respond to it. It just flattens the light curve entirely.
So it's a massive, tangible win for your biological health.
Huge win.
But, a beautiful, indestructible shell with a biologically optimized screen, it is ultimately just a really expensive paperweight if the brain inside is sluggish.
Ah, yes, the engine.
Right. If Honor spent all this money on a titanium-like exterior and a NASA-grade display, the budget had to be cut somewhere.
The bill comes due.
Always. Which brings us beneath the hood to what I'm calling the Lite reality check.
The processor. Because this is the precise moment the illusions start to fade and the inevitable compromises of mid-range engineering reveal themselves.
Right. The brain running the Honor 600 Lite is the MediaTek Dimensity 7100 Ultra, and it's paired with a Mali G615 graphics processing unit.
Okay.
Now, the reviewer was brutally honest here. They stated that for your normal daily tasks, You know, swiping through heavy web pages, streaming YouTube, jumping between emails and Instagram, the experience is buttery smooth and totally stable.
Which is great for most people.
It is.
Yeah.
But it is absolutely not the most powerful chip in this price tier. They noted it's built on a 6-nanometer fabrication process.
Which is important context.
Right, to break that down for you